First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises to Yahawah, SHAM, YAHAWASHI, Bahashim, Rekahakadash, and double honor to the elder apostle GMS who rule well. Salute you brothers pushing his word and consider the strength of power YAHAWASHI. Right? We are here to prophesy the downfall of America, this wicked and destructive kingdom, okay, which is known as Babylon the Great in the Bible. It's known as Sodom and Gomorrah, okay, and it's known as Egypt too, okay. All the ancient abominable heathen empires balled up into one, and that's where you get Babylon from, which Babylon means confusion, and that's America for you, man. And Most High to forget about this wicked, abominable place, man. He's gonna destroy it off the face of the earth, man. And hey, you see what's going on in the news in Israel? You got Esau coming up with that black identity extremists, which we not black, man. Even in their black law, you got Israel, which is different shades of brown, man. Okay, we not black, man. Okay, we different shades of brown. Okay, and that's what it is. And you got Esau trying to put them tags on us as terrorists, and we not terrorists, man. The terrorist is the so-called white man. He the one that go around and rape, rob, and murder the whole earth and steal countries and put people in slavery. That's him. That's his track record. Okay, but we're gonna start off in Revelation, the 12th chapter and 12th verse. So go ahead, Doc. 12th verse. Revelation 12:12.
All right, this is Revelations chapter 12, verse 12.
Right.
Therefore rejoice, ye heavens.
That's talking about the angels and us. Okay. Through the spirit and power of YAHAWASHI. Go ahead.
And ye that dwell in them.
When you deal with that word dwell, it deals with tabernacle. Okay. So whoever's in the tabernacle of the Heavenly Father and His Son, that's who that's talking about. That's who that's directed to. Go ahead.
Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devils is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he has but a short time.
Yeah, Esau know he got a short time, man. He see Jake waking up to this truth, man. So he know he got a short time. So that's why he bring up things like black identity extremists. Well, even if you look in the black law, even if you look in the black law dictionary, okay, which they use in the court system, the black law dictionary. I got the 3rd edition, and in there it tells you if a person is named, if a person is considered black, they ain't even gotta recognize you, man. Okay, they ain't even gotta recognize you. That ain't black. It's not a nationality. They put that on you so they can be justified by putting you to death as if you know people, man. So when they put black identity extremists on you, that's basically a no people, man. They want to throw it on us, but it ain't gonna work, man. The Most High is going intervene. The Heavenly Father and His Son is gonna intervene on what Esau got going on against us on the earth, man. He's gonna intervene. This time they not gonna complete their task by stopping Israel from ruling, man. They not gonna complete it. Go ahead.
Excuse me. I have a question.
Go ahead. Ask with your husband. That's your husband right there. Who is that? That's your brother or your husband?
You can call me a husband.
All right. What she got? What she got to say?
I'm passing this on to my friend.
No, you can ask.
I want her to ask.
Well, tell him and he'll tell me. Okay. So read that. If he already knows, yeah, we'll ask him. Well, a woman not supposed to keep silent in the church. You know that, right? Right? You know that. Okay, so ask him.
All right. We were dealing with Genesis.
Right.
We wanted to understand. See, I can't explain it like she can.
Huh? You can't explain it like she can.
Like she can. On this subject, because this is her subject. You understand? She came to me with it.
Right.
So we was trying to deal with it earlier. You know, we had our study.
Right.
She came with this question, so I wanted her to ask, don't this vibe. I know a woman's supposed to keep her head, you know what I'm saying? I'm allowing her to ask the question because it's her question to me, and I couldn't explain it, you understand what I'm saying? That's why I told her to ask you to explain it. See if you can.
What chapter in Genesis?
We can go to Genesis 1:26.
All right, we're gonna switch because we gotta answer this question real quick. But we're gonna go back to that. What Esau is trying to place on us, that black identity extremism. Okay? And you're gonna have 2/3 of Israel be joined and be right along with Esau. Okay? So we're finna go to Genesis 1 and 26.
Yeah.
This is Genesis chapter 1, verse 26. And the power said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowls of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth.
Right.
Okay, now.
And that's what you wanted?
Yes, that's what I wanted. Now, explain when Adam comes into the forefront. You understand what I'm saying? If man was already created.
Yeah, man was already created.
If he made him and her, male and female,
Yeah.
6 days.
Yeah, they was already created.
So
Now we finna show you. Go ahead, we finna show you. Jump back up to verse 20 and read 20 and 21.
All right, this is Genesis chapter 1, verse 20. And the power said, let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creatures that has life, and fowls that may fly above the earth in the open firmament of heaven.
Go ahead.
And the powers created great whales and every living creature that moveth, which the waters brought forth abundantly after their kind.
All right, so right there, them creatures, that's when man and female was created. Okay, right there, that's when the Adamites was created. Somebody hold Job 26 and 5. I mean Job 26 and 5. We finna show you. We finna show you about going into that image because they was already created. That image is dealing with statute, laws, and commandments. He gave them wisdom. That's what that image is dealing with. The statute, laws, and commandments. He gave them wisdom. Okay? We finna show you something. You got it, Kazak? Let me know when you get it.
Job 26 and 5?
Right.
Yeah. This is Job 26 and 5. Dead things are formed from under the waters.
It says dead things are formed from up under the waters. So what it was the Heavenly Father, Son, because when you read that word God there, that's a Hebrew word, Elohim, which goes into powers and judges. Okay? What the Heavenly Father, Son did was he created us up under the waters, right? Out of the richest soil of the earth and brought us forth out of the waters, okay? And therefore, the Adamites was created. So read that again.
This is Job chapter 26, verse 5. Dead things are formed from under the waters,
Okay?
and the inhabitants thereof.
And the inhabitants thereof. That's in Job, okay? 26 and 5. So go back over here in Genesis and read that again, verse 21 and 20.
This is Genesis chapter 1, verse 20. And the power said, let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creatures.
The moving creatures is dealing with people. Because when you deal, the creatures don't mean something that's matter of fact, we're going to look it up. Let's look up the word creatures there in the blue letter. It just means create. Okay, that's what the word creature means. It means create. So we was created under the waters and brought forth out of the waters, okay? That's what the word creature means right there. We're going to look it up in the Hebrew. soon as y'all get it, let me know. Whoever got it. Y'all just be patient with us. All right? Y'all got it? Alright, the word creature's there, right? It's a Hebrew word, right?
Strong's H8318. Shads.
Sharats, right? And it says, let's go here. Go to the no, it's the other one. Go back out. Go back out. It's the other one. That's dealing with, go back out. That was dealing with animals, okay? What the one we looked at one up in 1 and 20, that was dealing with animals, okay? But this one that's in the one I read it. It says in Genesis 1 and 20, it said, and God and the power said, let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creatures. That's talking about insects right there, okay? That's talking about insects and animals and things of that nature. It says, which the waters bring forth abundantly after their kind, and every winged fowl after his kind. And the power saw that it was good. Hold on, it's like I read the wrong one. Sorry. This Genesis 1 and 20. It said, and the power said, let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creatures that had life, and the fowls that they may fly above the earth in the opening of the firmament of heaven. It says, and the powers created great whales and living creatures. So right there, when you look that word up, it's
Strong's H5315.
Nefesh. Now, I'm going to show you something. Come over here and look at this. I want you to look at this. Okay? Now, make sure so they can see it, so he can see it. Right? All right, go back out so we can get the definition. I mean, what we're looking up. All right, you see, come here. You have to enlarge this so he can see it. Alright, so you see that right there? This is creatures, right? You see that creature, right? That was right there. Now you see that. Now you see creatures, right? You see creatures, right? And you see his soul, self, life, creature, person. Okay? So when you get down to image, they was already created. When you read and read that again in verse 21.
This is Genesis chapter 1, verse 21. And the powers created great whales and every living creature.
So when you deal with that word creature right there, the Adamites was already created. It was like we looked up in the blue letter. Okay, it says souls, person. Okay, right there. So the people was already created in verse 21.
So what is he trying to tell us?
In verse 26.
When he created Adam,
Yeah.
let life into Adam.
Yeah.
What is he trying to say? Because man and female was already created.
Right.
Before Adam. So he breathed life into Adam.
No.
So one of them-
Everybody was created right in the 21st verse.
Okay.
Everybody was created. You had more people back then. Everybody was created back then.
all nations.
Okay, all nations. But you had a chosen nation.
So what I'm saying is, why did he have to breathe life into Adam in the second chapter?
Okay. Let's get there.
Why,
In the second chapter, we
why
finna
did he
go.
have to do that?
Okay, we finna go there. This
Then that's our last question.
that was
That was the discussion we were trying to understand. If man was created on the sixth day, and female was created on the sixth day, then he come about in the second chapter on the seventh day and created Adam and breathed life into him and gave him a helpmate. How did that come about if we couldn't understand that? If y'all can help us out with that.
what it was when you read the second chapter. Now man and woman was already created. Boom,
Okay.
in the first chapter.
Yes, sir.
When you go down to the 26th verse, that image is dealing with statute, laws, and commandments. Okay. Now, when you jump over here to the second chapter, and it says, "And Lord and Yahawah, our power, formed man of the dust of the ground, and breath into his nostrils, the breath of life, and man became a living soul." What that is going into is, I'm going to show you. Give me Songs of Solomon 7 and 24. This is exactly what this is. So you can see. Songs of Solomon 7 and 24. Got it? Songs of Solomon. Wisdom of Solomon. Sorry, Salaki. Wisdom of Solomon. 7 and 24.
Yeah, I got it.
Got it? Go ahead.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7, verse 24. For wisdom is more moving than any emotion. She passeth and goeth through all things by reason of her pureness.
Go ahead.
For she is the breath of the power of the Most High.
Wisdom. So when he breathed life into him, he gave him wisdom. Yeah. There you go.
They're just saying dust and earth is in a lower state.
Now, well, the dust of the earth is he made it like I was explaining when he made us up under the waters and brought us forth out of the earth, okay, out of the ground, okay. So when you go back over here, huh?
He brought us out of the ground.
Right, he brought us out of the ground, point blank period.
If people was here, so who did he bring out of the ground? The black man or what? Or what person did he bring us out of the ground?
He brought, it was people back, it was people, when the Heavenly Father Son created everything, he created all the nations. Okay, everybody was brought forth out of the water. When you read back in 1 and 21, read that again.
This is Genesis chapter 1, verse 21. And the powers created great whales and every living creature that moveth, which the waters brought forth abundantly after their kind.
See, so that's when everybody was created. Okay, but what it was he separated the nations. Okay, and he gave the knowledge and wisdom and understanding to the Adamites. Okay, which was a chosen people. Give me Genesis 5 and 5.
This is Genesis chapter 5, verse 5. And all the days that Adam lived were 930 years,
Go ahead.
and he died.
Go ahead.
And he said, lived in 105 years and begot Enos.
Well, you at Genesis 5 and 5? I mean, Genesis 5 and 1. Sorry.
This is Genesis chapter 5, verse 1. This is the book of the generations of Adam, and the day that the powers created man, and the likeness of the power made him. Male and female created he them.
See? So he created them at the same time. Okay? But what it was back then, like I was saying, when you read in Genesis, the first chapter, in the 21st verse, he already had created them. Okay? You understand?
You're not pushing some point, but I understand that we all got a lot to learn. The only thing I was going to ask you,
I mean, you asked me when was we created, right?
yeah,
That's what I'm showing you in Genesis 1 and 20. 1 and 20 and 21. That's when everybody was created.
Yes, sir.
Now you want evidence that it was more people back then?
no. I just didn't understand if he was already created. How did he build up Adam from the dust of the earth and bring not breathe into his nostrils knowledge? You know what I'm saying? If he was already here,
Right.
That's the debate we was having over. We had our Bible study this morning.
Right.
That's the subject. I couldn't give the answer, you know what I'm saying? She didn't understand. She came with the subject.
Right.
I couldn't get it to her. I was just asking you guys to elaborate and illuminate our mind to understand it.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Well, that's when. See, what it is the Bible is a code.
Trust.
Right. So when you just read straight down, like a Harlequin novel, it jumps. So that's why you have to precept on precept, here a little and there a little. So
We just didn't get that.
when the Heavenly Father Son done that, okay, created all the people, and he created the Adamites. He gave the Adamites the statute, laws, and commandments, the wisdom.
Yeah.
Okay, so when he, just like when we jump precept on precept, line upon line, when he done that, when he created them, that's when he gave them knowledge, wisdom, understanding.
When he breathed it.
When he breathed into
A lot
them
of people have that.
during the time he created them.
I heard
But
that.
it said, but over in the second chapter, you will get lost thinking, okay, that's the second chapter. No, it happened in the first chapter.
Yeah, you
because
know,
that's why you got to
time
link
has no
precept
distinction
upon
of
the
time.
precept,
Yeah.
line upon line,
I don't
here a
have
little
no
and there a
problem
little.
with this distinction of time. I don't deal with time. I don't have no problem with that. I just, like I said, we just couldn't understand if he created man then.
Oh, in other words, did he wait and then get a wisdom to him? No, he gave it to him right then when they was created. Yeah, that's why the scriptures say precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little and there a little. Because in the first chapter, it's telling you when he created, right? So in order to get the answer of what was going on in the first chapter, you would have to jump to other chapters, okay, to get the answer. Like say for instance, if I wanted to know something about, if it say something about, just like we jump to
I understand what
Wisdom of Solomon to get what the breath was. So we jump. So it's not gonna tell you what the matter of fact, let's look at that word breath right there in the second chapter in the seventh verse. Let's look up that word breath right there. All right.
I just around the road, man. I really appreciate what you guys doing. Y'all be out here every Saturday?
Yeah, every Saturday.
Try to come out here and deal with it.
Yeah. So that's all it is. You got to jump. Okay.
Oh, of course, I know
Yeah.
that,
But to answer your question, when we was created from from up under the waters.
You think it's the same point in time? You know what I'm saying? So even though he said it in chapter 1, he's saying in chapter 2 that was the same thing. It's same time frame.
Yeah, but that's why you gotta link precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little and there a little. Yeah.
Like I said, I just couldn't.
He's not gonna, okay, wait 1,000 years, and then give him the knowledge. Nah, he gave it to him when he created it. Like, you know, when like the earth. Like
I'm
you got.
I'm digging what you're saying. You understand what I'm saying? You're giving me something that I haven't heard before.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take that and put it in my memory Rolodex and try to, and when I go on and read it again, I'll try to put your input in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like the first day.
Back out here and holler at me if I get something different.
Yeah. Like the first day. That's not actually one day.
No.
That's 1,000 years.
Yeah, he have no distinction. I don't deal with time.
No, he deals. The Heavenly Father deals with time.
Not really.
Yes, he do. Because it's one day. That's time.
1,000 years of
That's time.
blink of an eye.
But that's time though. That's time. Like we in this condition. It's a time that we gonna get out of it. He deal with time. We got to suffer out our punishment. So he deal with time. So read
we don't
that breath.
understand this time. That's what I'm saying. We don't understand this.
Yeah, look up the word breath.
He can say 1,000 years and say what 1,000 years to him is.
One day. I mean, to us, one to him, okay, is 1,000 years is one day to him. To us, it's 1,000 years. It tell you that in the scriptures.
I believe that, but you can take it literally or.
No, it's literal.
Okay.
It's literal. That's what the scriptures say. What breath?
He said it's like a foot to 1,000.
Huh?
Like a like unto 1,000. We don't know. He can give us everything. What he wants us to have, he can give us. It's like a
Read the definition of breath.
So distorted. What is it?
Read the definition of breath. I read this 2 Peter 3 and 8. But beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, that one day is with the Lord as 1,000 years. It say like nowhere in there.
What is it now? What is it year? We've been so distorted from time. They changed everything.
Well, I understand that, but what the scriptures say.
I understand what the scriptures say, and I go by the scriptures.
What the definition is?
Believe me, I go by the
See,
scriptures.
it say breath there, it say spirit. Okay? It say when you look up that word breath there in Genesis 2 and 7, it say breath or spirit.
Breathe the spirit into it.
Okay? But when you go over to Wisdom of Solomon, the 7th chapter, it tells you the knowledge. The breath is knowledge. Yeah. So it's not gonna go into detail. It's not gonna go into detail.
That's the true Da Vinci Code.
But what I'm saying is, it's not gonna go into detail like that. Okay? That's why you have to link up precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little and there a little. And that's why when I went over here to Genesis 1 and 20 and 21, when I dealt with them and jumped over to the second chapter and read that, it all happened at the same time.
I'm digging.
Okay.
It gives me a little bit more clarification on it.
Right.
Because you said it's different. I'm digging the way you're trying to say it. Do a little research on how you're telling me right there, because I can dig it. You understand?
Yeah.
He doesn't, I can get it.
All right. Now, when you jump down to the 26th verse, read the 26th verse.
This is gonna be the last thing you have to say.
Genesis chapter 1, verse 26.
Yeah.
And the power said, let us make man in our image, after our likenesses, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea.
He said, let us make man in our image. He already done it. He gave him the statute, laws, and commandments. He gave him the knowledge and the
He
wisdom.
hasn't gave him the statute, laws, and commandments.
They had statute, laws, and commandments back then.
Not at that time. When
Yeah.
Until Moses went up into the mountain.
No, they had it it wasn't written.
Right.
They had it verbally. Yeah. You didn't know that?
I didn't. You know, I've never read it in the scripture.
All right, give me that in the apocrypha.
Like I say, I come back.
Give me that in the apocrypha, man. Okay, give me that in the apocrypha. And in 2nd Ezra 3 and 5. Give me that. 2nd Ezra 3 and 5. Okay?
Ezra is very simple.
This is 2nd Ezra chapter 3 verse 5. And gave us a body unto Adam without soul,
Go ahead.
which was the workmanship of thine hands,
Go ahead.
and didst breathe into him the breath of life,
Go ahead.
and he was made living before thee.
Go ahead.
And thou leddest him into paradise, which thy right hand had planted before ever the earth came forward.
Go ahead.
And unto him thou gavest commandment to love thy way,
See? Commandments. There you go. Go ahead.
which he transgressed, and immediately thou appointest death in him.
See? So he gave it to them. They had it. No, that's during the time of Adam. You just read that again. We talking about Adam right there. Go read that again.
2nd Ezra chapter 3 verse 5. And gave us a body unto Adam
The Adamites, right? Go ahead.
without soul, which was the workmanship of thine hands, and didst breathe into him the breath of life, and he was made living before thee.
What is the breath of life? We just read it, and matter of fact, get it again. Let's see what the breath of life is. Wisdom of Solomon 7 and 24. Let's see what the breath of life is.
Do you know how to let people go though? I said
Huh?
I'm coming back.
Yeah. Hey, man, it's the spirit that got you here. I ain't got you here. It's the spirit.
I'm there for a reason.
You know what I'm saying?
Everything
You held there because the spirit got you there.
Wisdom of Solomon chapter 7 verse 24. For wisdom is more moving than any motion. She passeth and goeth through all things by reason of her pureness. For she is the breath of the power of the Most High, and a pure influence flowing from the glory of the Almighty.
There you go. You get wisdom right there. So go back over there. Read that again, please.
2nd Ezra chapter 3 verse 5. And gave us a body unto Adam without soul, which was the workmanship of thine hands, and didst breathe into him the breath of life,
So we know what the breath of life is, right? Go ahead.
and he was made living before thee. Thou leddest him into paradise, which thy right hand had planted before ever the earth came forward. And unto him thou gavest commandment to love thy way, which he transgressed, and immediately thou appointest death into him.
So what's death? Sin. So what did he transgress? The law. All right, y'all. All right. So yeah, that's what we gotta. That's what we. Hey, that's what happened, man. People come up. Jay come up. You gotta answer them questions. It is what it is. Sometimes you might, what I'm saying, have some plan to go into, but hey, the spirit will have it to where you got to go into something else and answer them questions, man. I didn't know he was gonna come up and ask me, but like I was explaining in there, I know it's kind of bumpy, you know what I'm saying, but I explained it the best way I can explain it to him. Like we was read that again in Genesis 1 and 20 and 20. Genesis 1, verse 20 and 21.
All right, this is Genesis chapter 1, verse 20. And the powers said, let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creature that hath life.
So what do we read in Job? What does it say in Job? You got Job still on deck? So when it said that in Job, right? That's why you gotta be patient with Jacob, man. You got to be patient with Jacob, man. Yeah. Job 26:5. Huh? Yeah, man. Yeah, but still, even though it came from a woman, still, like me and the brother discussing with me, it came from a woman, but still, that's why I was telling him to ask the question, all right? Because a woman is not supposed to, speak in the church according to the scriptures. But still, the question got answered, man. So read that in.
This is Job chapter 26, verse 5. And it reads, dead things are formed from under the waters,
Right.
and the inhabitants thereof.
Dead things are formed under the waters and the inhabitants thereof. So everything that you see that's living on this earth was formed under the water and brought forth out of the water. Read that again on Genesis.
This is Genesis chapter 1, verse 20. And the powers said, let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creatures that hath life, and fowls that may fly above the earth in the open firmament of heaven. And the powers created great whales and every living creature that moveth.
What verse you read?
Verse 21.
All right.
Which the waters brought forth abundantly after their kind, and every winged fowl after his kind. And power saw that it was good.
And power saw that it was good. So when you deal with that word powers, it goes into the word Alahayim, which it means powers and judges, man. And YAHAWASHI was back there, the angels back there creating everything, man. The Most High gave them the green light to create everything, man. And when they seen what was created, they said it was good. So it was no need for you to alter the sexes of man and woman, man, because everything was good, man. They altering the sexes of man and woman today. They going off. Okay? So continue on.
Verse 22. And the powers blessed them, saying, be fruitful and multiply.
That's a law, man. Be fruitful and multiply. That's a law, man. Okay? Adam had laws. Read that in 2nd Ezra 3 and 5 again. Adam had law. The Adamites had laws, man.
Second Ezra chapter 3, verse 5. And gave us a body unto Adam without soul, which was the workmanship of thine hands, and didst breathe into him the breath of life, and he was made living before thee. And thou leddest him into paradise, which thy right hand had planted before ever the earth came forward. And unto him thou gavest commandment to love thy way.
So you see, that's it on that, or is some more?
Which he transgressed, and immediately thou appointest death into him.
So he transgressed. What is that? Transgression of the law. So we had it back then. It was verbally. Okay? It was verbally. So go back over there to Genesis 22. Keep going.
All right, this is
all the way down to 26.
All right, this is Genesis chapter 1, verse 22. And the powers blessed them, saying, be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters and the seas, and let fowls multiply in the earth.
Go ahead.
Verse 23. And the evening that the morning were the 5th day. And the powers said, let the earth bring forth the living creatures after his kind.
Right.
Cattle and creepy things, and beasts of the earth after his kind. And it was so. Verse 25, and the powers made the beasts of the earth after his kind, and cattle after their kind, and everything that creepeth upon the earth after his kind. And the powers saw that it was good. Verse 26, and the powers said, let us make man in our image.
So people will say that we were created to look like the Heavenly Father. Now, what that's dealing with is he gave them statute, laws, and commandments, man. That's what that's dealing with, okay? He gave it to him, man, okay? So he can govern the earth, man. So go ahead.
After our likenesses, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea.
Yeah, we had dominion over all these animals, man. These animals feared us. Okay, go ahead. Not today. They'll eat you alive. Go ahead.
And over the fowls of the earth, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creepy thing that creepeth upon the earth.
Right. How you think Noah was able to get them animals in the ark? He had control over them. Okay? They feared him. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 27. So powers created man in his own image, in the image of the Most High created him, male and female created he them.
See, male and female, he created he them. So it was Adamites back then. It was other nations back then, man. Because when you go over to give me Ezekiel 32 and 25, and then jump to Genesis 3 and 7. You got Ezekiel. No, give me Ezekiel 31 and 6. Sorry, 31 and 6. And I read this. This Genesis 3 and 7. And the eyes of both of them were open, and they knew that they were naked, and they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves aprons. Okay? And they heard the voice of the Lord walking in the garden in the cool of the day. And Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Lord, meaning Yahawah, our power, amongst the trees of the garden. They said amongst the trees of the garden. Now, give me Ezekiel 31 and 6.
This is Ezekiel chapter 31 verse 6, and it reads, all the fowls of heaven made their nest in his boughs.
Go ahead.
And under his branches did all the beasts of the field bring forth their young, and under his shadow dwelt all great nations.
Go ahead.
Thus was he fair in his greatness, in the length of his branches, for his root was by great waters.
Go ahead.
The cedars in the garden of the Most High could not hide him.
Could not hide him. Hide who? The Adamites. Go ahead.
The fir trees were not like his boughs.
Go ahead.
And the chestnut trees were not like his branches, nor any tree in the garden of the Most High
Go ahead.
was like unto him in his beauty.
Go ahead.
I have made him fair by the multitude of his branches,
Go ahead.
so that all the trees of Eden that were in the garden of the Most High envied him.
So how trees gonna envy somebody? That don't make sense. That's a tree right there. You tell me that tree right there envying me? No, it was people back then. You see? It was people back then. So that's why I was explaining to him, you know, that the Most High created people back then. It's just that the Adamites was the chosen people. Just like you got today, the people here today. But who are the chosen people? The Israelites. Okay? The only, what preserved us and didn't destroy us was the Most High saved Noah. And the earth was populated through Noah's son. Yeah, that's how we kept being produced on the earth through Noah's son. Okay, because if he would have had if he would have destroyed Noah and his if he would have destroyed them 8 souls, then YAHAWASHI would have had to recreate all the people again. Okay, if he would have done that, if he would have didn't get Noah and didn't get the animals, he would have had to recreate the people the same way he did in Genesis, all over again. But when you read about Noah and you read about his son Sham, that chosen line come out of Sham. So you always had a chosen line, even during the time of Adam, which the Adamites was the chosen people, man. Okay, so high trees. Read that part again about the trees being envied.
Ezekiel chapter 31, verse 9. I have made him fair by the multitude of his branches, so that all the trees of Eden that were in the garden of the Most High envied him.
So our trees gonna envy you. This Mark 8 and this Mark 8 and 24, and he looked up because YAHAWASHI healed the blind man to where he could see. And he looked up and he said, I see men as trees walking. So there you go, man. So it was people back then, okay? And that's why, see, to get the understanding of it, that's why you have to jump precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little and there a little, okay? Now, when we was reading earlier in Genesis, it was kind of bumpy, okay? It was kind of bumpy, but I was explaining the best of my ability, okay? And I kept asking, was he getting it? And he was like, I guess kind of, sort of, you know, from what I could see, he was kind of, sort of getting it. He wasn't really getting it, you know? But he couldn't understand, they couldn't understand, well, how it's saying what it's saying in the first chapter and it's saying what it's saying over in the second chapter. Because you have to link the precepts up. And he said he understood that. Precept on precept, line upon line, here a little and there a little. He said he understood that, but apparently not. Because while I was explaining to him, he kind of sort of got it and he kind of sort of didn't. You know? But hey, it is what it is. But it was people back then. See that Genesis is not a how can I say it? Best way I can say it, it's not an easy read. It's not an easy breakdown if you unlearn. If you unlearn, you're gonna be all messed up in the book of Genesis, man. You understand? You're gonna be all messed up. Okay? That's what you will be. Okay? So going back over there, so